Hello, I hope your week is going good. So today's video is actually just like a background or preparation sort of stuff for tomorrow's video, the next day's video, which will be the main science fiction roleplay ASMR video of this week. In that video you will meet Connor Marchland, the chief of security on a highly secure facility, and he will ask you a few questions. But he will also reference a few news events from this fictional timeline of the early 21st century. And today's video is essentially background stuff and preparation for tomorrow's video. So I don't expect this will be a video with lots of likes or views or anything like that. It's just for those who are very especially interested in the lore and background for tomorrow's video. So this video will feature fictional news stories from the years 2204 to 2209, but it's mostly just meant as background stuff for tomorrow's video. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy this video, and I hope you especially will enjoy tomorrow's video, which I hope will help you relax, feel calm and good, and have a great week. And I hope you will enjoy the sort of lo-fi science fiction content of tomorrow's video. But if you don't want to wait till tomorrow, you can always just prepare by watching the news stories of today. Connor Marchland will, the character I'm playing tomorrow, will reference some of these news events during tomorrow's questions. Okay, wish you a great week and hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hello, I am Jacob Patricks. Hello to all you viewers out there. I will be your election specialist and election analyst this evening, and welcome to the 22/4 election special of the New Stars and Moons channel. It's been a wild evening so far. We've seen President Clark be absolutely crushed by traditionalist nominee Calvin Brown, the senator from New Jersey and founder and former CEO of Advanced Tech. And it has been clear that he has been popular in recent months. He has surged ahead in polls, and he was leading President Clark by 9 percentage points as we headed into election night. And so far he has won place after place, state after state, and it's looking like it's going to be a landslide victory for him. He has won now. Just recently we called both the states of Texas and the states of California in his favor. It is clear President Clark is struggling, and there is almost no path left to victory for the struggling president. Everything now indicates that Calvin Brown will be our next president. The man who said he wants to merge man and machine is likely to become our next president and the former CEO of a technological giant. So yeah, well. We also of course have seen how Maxwell, the Terranist candidate, has fared this evening, and it has not gone well. People had, while he was never likely to win, his supporters had hoped he would clinch at least 6 states, but so far the only state he has clinched is the state of Alaska. Other than that, he does not seem to be faring well, and now the Terranists are increasingly pointing towards a new front figure for the coming years. They are indicating that they want the local representative of South Carolina, Charlie French, to become their next front figure after Maxwell has had a very difficult election evening. As many of the Terranist supporters believe that Charlie French will be able to reach out to more people and more voters. And there, we just got in now what Calvin Brown has clinched the states of Illinois and Michigan. That means, my dear friends, that Calvin Brown has just been elected the next president, winning over President Clark by a landslide. It has been a landslide victory. And that also means that James Jameson, the governor of California, will be the next vice president. A momentous occasion this election evening. Oh, my friends, it's been a momentous election evening. So Calvin Brown, there you have it, folks. Calvin Brown, our next president. As President Clark's bid to win re-election has failed, and she has also become the 4th president in a row to not win re-election. But anyway, we are going to hear President Clark's concession speech, and Maxwell's concession speech for that matter, and also listen to President-elect Brown's victory speech. He's probably going to be talking about the advancement of robotics and of his plans to further merge man and machine. We know what the tyrannists oppose. And already now we're getting a snap poll this evening showing that Charlie French is actually now the favorite to challenge President-elect Brown in 4 years' time. And Charlie French has been outspoken in his opposition to the merging of man and machine, to the dominance of artificial intelligence, and to the extreme focus on space technology of recent years. And President-elect Brown's win this election evening is likely to increase the popularity of Charlie French. Anyway, we're getting into much more of this later this evening, but for now, thank you for watching the New Stars and Moons channel on this historic election night. Thank you. Hello, I am Conrad Miller, and you're watching New Stars and Moon channel. I hope you're all having an excellent evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here are today's news stories. The incident of last year, the assassination of former governor of Oregon, Lester Clark, the cousin of former President Janice Clark, is still being investigated, but so far no culprit has been found. The world still mourns the passing of Brandon Cook, who became 92 years old. He passed away just a few days ago in his home, peacefully. Brandon Cook was a leading voice in the development of new technology, in development in space, but he was also the founder of the Terranist movement, trying to put focus a little away from space and back on things of Earth. And Brandon Cook was also actually one of the main contenders of the 2188 presidential election, where he was the Terranist nominee and attempted to become president. Huge crowds have gathered outside his home mourning the passing of this giant within the world's business and technological landscape within the recent century. Brandon Cook's passing is likely to pave the path further for the emergence of Charlie French as the Terranist presidential candidate for the next election. And Charlie French is so far the favorite in polls to challenge incumbent President Brown. Charlie French is further helped by the fact that just weeks before his passing, Brandon Cook endorsed Charlie French as the next Terranist nominee. But the most important news today is perhaps the situation which has unfolded in Norway, where we just in recent days have been witness to what can only be described as a coup attempt. There are many rumors surrounding this coup attempt, but we know what the military enforced a curfew. There were tanks and spacecopters and stuff like that in the streets and sky, and there are no rumors. But a council of machines were behind the coup attempt. The government of Norway, including the Prime Minister, was brought to safety during the coup attempt. While no one was hurt or killed or anything like that in the coup attempt, it is nonetheless considered a dramatic situation and development, and if it is true, like it is indicated, but a council of machines were involved in the coup attempt, it will be a huge setback for President Brown and his plans to merge man and machine. President Brown is expected to speak and address the situation further as rumors and speculation around what happened continues to circulate. But we are going to keep following the situation which has been developing in Norway. It does appear now as the coup attempt has been crushed and the government and stability has returned, but people in Norway are still on edge after the recent tense events. I am Conrad Miller. You're still watching New Stars and Moon channel. I'm going to continue to be with you this evening. And we're going to hear more about the tense situation in space a few months after spaceships of America and China clashed in space a few months ago. President Brown is expected to continue to give updates in regard to the two powers clashes in space. But for now, we're moving on to other news stories. And that is, of course, the crazy news which has come from Japan and Asia recently, where there have been rumors recently. But undead, living dead, have been spotted in an undisclosed area somewhere in Asia, in a place only described as a province in Asia, but authorities has not revealed exactly where in Asia this has occurred. Only that the Japanese military has bombed strategic points within the province, and that it shall apparently be the result of some sort of crazy experiment gone wrong. According to Japanese military, the situation has been dealt with. Conspiracy theorists online have speculated that the governments of the world have unleashed zombies, but officials, including President Brown, are denying this is the case, saying that these living dead appear to be the result of some sort of unsanctioned, insane type of experiment conducted by criminal individuals who President Brown and the Japanese government has assured the public will be brought to justice. The governments of the world have made it clear that these undead are far from any civilized area and do not present any danger to civilization or the world's population. And that the experiment has been dealt with, and that all the undead has been eliminated. It is unclear exactly why something like this could happen, or how something like this could happen. And it is apologies to you viewers out there, it is unclear why it has happened and what was the purpose of the experiment. But we are going to keep following the developments and the situation as we get more insight into what has happened in Japan and in Asia in recent years and months, and what kind of twisted individuals could be behind something like this. Hello to all you viewers out there. I am Jacob Patricks of the New Stars and Moon channel, elections analyzer and election specialist, and you're watching the 2028 election special. And we're all waiting in excitement of the final results from Georgia here. It's been a really tight race between President Brown and Terranist nominee Charlie French. Yeah, they have both won different states, and they're both doing well tonight, and it's one of the tightest election contests we've ever seen. So Charlie French, the local representative from South Carolina, is seeking to become the next president, but he is facing a tough challenge in the form of incumbent President Brown, who hopes to become the first president in 24 years to win re-election. And President Brown wants to advance his visions of further development of bioships, artificial intelligence and stuff like that. Charlie French, on his side, wants to win so he can stop these developments, wanting to take focus back to Earth, away from space, and to calm what he considers extreme amounts of technological surveillance and controlling technology. So yeah, but we're still waiting from the results from Georgia, because right now we can say that whoever will win Georgia will win the election. So the results have, things have been going a little back and forward. Sometimes it has seemed like French has been leading, other times it has seemed like Brown has been leading. It's been a really tight contest, and voters are really divided between the two candidates. Some support President Brown's vision of furthering space and technological developments, while others believe French's vision of calming these developments down are the right way to go. They want to take focus back to Earth and focus away from artificial intelligence and robotics and back to more organic human matters. We'll see. Apologies, we're getting an update. So far it seems that Charlie French, the Terranist nominee, is leading in Georgia, but we are still short of the final results. French has really been a huge boost for the Terranist movement after Maxwell's, the Terranist nominee in null force attempt 4 years ago, completely flopped. But now it looks like French in the recent years, he has been surging impulse, and he has really rescued the Terranist movement. So yeah, we've seen that in recent years, that French has surged impulse, and he was actually leading President Brown by 1 percentage point as we headed into this election evening. But that is of course indication of a very, very tight contest. Wow, we have a result. We can now project and announce that Charlie French has won the state of Georgia and is thus elected the next president. Charlie French, by very narrow margins, has been elected our next president, and that also means that Joshua Monillo, the governor of Texas, will be our next vice president. So this is of course a huge defeat for President Brown, even though it was a narrow victory for French. Because this means that President Brown's visions of advancing society even further into the fields of space tech, artificial intelligence and robotics will now be, well, stopped a little the coming 4 years, as French is likely to pull the plug on several of these projects. It should be said, however, that French has been adamant that he will maintain and defend the American colony word of New Virginia, that he will not step back from. We are going to listen to President Brown's concession speech later this evening and President-elect French's victory speech on what is truly a dramatic night, as French has just become the first tyrannist ever to become president. So we will have more of that. We will have more of you. We will have more for you later this evening. Apologies, ladies and gents. Okay, but until we have more, I hope you're all having a good night, and we're looking forward to following these developments and updates as we go along this evening. Until then, have a good evening, all you out there.